guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monat, and this is my channel Evolve with Monat. For those of you that are new here today, I'm a professional intuitive empath, and I have a message for anybody wondering about going back to your past. They are not capable of loving you completely, fully, deeply, richly, immersively. One of the things that happens when we separate from an ex that was toxic, or we may have trauma bonded to or had some addictive energy with, is that we will miss them and still have telepathic communications if we don't do our cord cutting, our salt divorces, our separations, separating our energy. And I see this all too often with clients where they're like, well, I can feel them pulling on my energy. The song synchronicities pop up, the number synchronicities, the little unspoken things we never told anybody that we shared pop up, and we're feeling each other's energy. Divine Feminine, if you're dealing with a distorted masculine, that will happen because you did have a connection, no matter how much they lied about it to their friends, their family, or their community, and to themselves primarily. But it doesn't mean you go back just because you feel them energetically pulling on you. Let me explain why. You already know the loopholes that comes with that girl or guy. Okay? You already know the loopholes. You already know. You know how they say better the devil you know, and that's sometimes a motivator for people to stay in a relationship? Because it's like, I already kind of know what kind of BS I'm going to deal with here. Well, that season's over for you, my dear. You don't get to just stay stagnant because you know what kind of drama you're going to deal with that person. When you're a divine feminine, you're called to be loved fully and immersively. That's from your friends, your family, your community. It's from your career sector. It's from every degree. But don't you think, especially, it's going to be romantically and in love? Yeah, you might have a great bestie and you might have a great husband, or excuse me, you might have a great partner or of any capacity, but you are being called to love deeply by the person that you share romantic energy with. So whether it's a great husband, a great wife, whatever the case may be. So what I'm telling you though is that past person, it's really interesting because that energetic transference and imprint is real, and it will cause you to feel like, oh, I should go back there. They miss me. They need me. They're sorry. They get it. Yeah, maybe they do, but they still are not capable of loving you. And let me tell you why. A lot of the people that we were dealing with had unhealed wounds with their parents. Surprise, that's us too. The difference is we worked on healing those wounds. Those people don't want to do the deep shadow work. They don't want to hurt. They don't want to be by themselves. They don't want to have 50, 11 people around them. So they will always create hell. They could have the best situation, the happiest connection. And that's what you offered in many cases. But they will disrupt it, they will sabotage it, and they will lie to your faces again and again. If you were to go back to them, sure, there'd be a honeymoon period. They'd be happy. You'd be happy. Maybe there'd be fantastic sex. But then you have to think about what comes next. And what comes next is the repeated loop back into the cycle because you'd be dealing with someone who hadn't properly healed. That was the deterrent for me when I had all those feels years ago. When I remember thinking, but I'm getting the synchronicities and they're actually apologizing with their words. But I've dealt with narcissists before and toxic, unavailable people who are greedy and always want more. They just wanted to pull me back in, firstly, to punish me. And I was like, not on my watch. Absolutely neverly. Okay. So I kept my distance because I was like, you don't realize now that I've turned into a vigilante and I don't like that part of me regarding my shadow side. And I recommend it's not a way for you to be either. I didn't indulge because I knew the game. And if we've been through narcissistic pain, we know the game. And what a narcissist would love to see you do is come down to their level. Were I to have been back in that person's life, even for the juicy, you told me so and you were right, and I'll never not listen again, or whatever I thought may have happened, or they may have gaslight or love bombed me with, I would have never stopped giving them shit. You get it? I would have turned into them. I would have turned into a horrible person. That's another reason why you divest and stay away. There was no way that we were ever going to interact because I realized the deep levels of cruelty. The same is true for you. Please take a look. and all the horrible things that person did do. I don't care how much they miss you, how much they love bombing you. Now, some of you guys right now are getting calls, you're getting messages, you're getting actual 3D communication. I'm not just talking about like a song or a number synchronicity or whatever. I'm talking about I deal with clients that are getting really hit up right now by their exes, okay? Mercury is retrograding as it does. So be careful because they never really showed you love. And as a divine person, you're supposed to experience that kind of love. I think of the song by Sting, I Dream of Love, Desert Rose. Someone needs to listen to that today. I dream of love. For whatever reason, that was a message to me. And I always knew that my love was rooted in those energies. That song, kind of an Indian singing, if you will. I even wore had sari material at my actual wedding. Person who officiated me wore full Indian garb. It's weird. That is not my culture per se, but I felt called to that to this day because of that song. And so I created it in my own way. What I will tell you is this: I want you to push until you get to love that is bliss, that you can create, that you can make be amazing. Because it is not something that you should settle for to go back to that old Kang, Kang, because they were not a king. Um, it's not something you should settle for. You deserve really to be immersively loved, and you deserved more. And you knew that, and that's why you left. So I don't care what kind of text or message or dick pic or whatever they're sending you. That's like, come back here, my old boo. They just want to snack you. Some of them want to punish you, so message heads up with that. And some of them would love to siphon your energy again. Now that I know what a valuable asset I was to my ex friend, I purposely and not out of spite keep myself away because she dimmed my light and she caused me to be physically ill. I wouldn't wish what I had in my spiritual warfare on anybody, but because of the depth of it and the reality of it and how it had far reaching effects, I realized I was dealing with someone who was really actually evil and really actually toxic because they were pushing away their own light and their own gifts, you know? So we all deal with people in different ways, but it affected me for days and months and years. Not the love part of like I miss you and all that. That happened and came and went within a few weeks actually for me. I was very grateful for that. But the lingering body effects of a toxic relationship, our body stores trauma. It's real. It happens. Lower back pain or this or that or whatever. We all experience it differently. I realized what level of toxicity I was in with that relationship because of what happened to me last year. And I would never go back. There's not a good sexy night. There's not a text. There's nothing that she could say to me that would ever be right. But I passed that stage years ago, where I would have been malleable or warm or soft to a connection or communication. But pay attention to that. You deserve to be loved fully. I want to piggyback off of something else I said the other night. We were talking about um, the fact that the third party could be an earth angel, also an ogre. Both things can be true, right? They can be horrible and whatever. But I want you to realize how they armed the third party with information about you. And I may make a second video about that specifically because I think it needs to be paid attention to. They armed the third party with information about you. What I said was in the beginning, when I was very malleable, the first few weeks after the separation happened years ago, I remember thinking, how could this third party turn my friend of this many years against me? And my angels course corrected me and they said she didn't. They said, in fact, your friend turned the third party against you, and then the third party turned her against you. So it was like a big old bowl of fuckery, okay? So, they explained how it happened. They said she would commiserate with her and gossip about you and give her pieces of information about you and give her little tidbits when she was frustrated because she didn't have good communication skills because she was atrophied regarding parents and all that stuff, right? So I understood what the issues were that I was dealing with, the person I was dealing with, but she started to have zero discernment. She was reckless and she had no respect, and she started talking about you to this person, and then the other person could flip it and reverse it because she was manipulative, codependent, whatever the third party is. Every third party has their own issues, right, that they deal with. But that's what happened. And in a lot of your cases, please understand that. So it wasn't that the third party turned her against me, it's that she was always against me. She armed the third party with info so the third party could have confirmation bias and provide her with exactly what she wanted to see. Because of whatever her issues were, whatever attention she wasn't getting, exact, et cetera, et cetera. Which brings me back to where I began. Don't go back. Would I want to deal with that? That person was never my friend. And I know it's you're in your 40s, so you're like, friend, that's relative, whatever. Obviously, we figured that out. But when I realized how um, just sloppy and ridiculous that person was, that's always what I would get. Especially, and this is the biggest takeaway tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a threat. A lot of us empaths don't see ourselves as threat. We see ourselves as just we want to go along to get along. We sometimes doormat ourselves even just to ensure that that happens. And for whatever reason, as a feminine energy, an earth angel or an empath, we will ascend in our understanding of ourselves. Our self esteem will get better. Our self worth and our self value will get better. And then you're no longer the girl's girl. You're no longer the designated ugly fat friend. You're no longer whatever. Even if you are, you're still pulling energy more than them, meaning the other people that may fit an aesthetic that seems right, or forget about the aesthetic, the other people that seem to have a better life. Something about you, your resonance, your vibration pulls people in. And that's what makes you threatening. Now you're mean girl culture, and that was my situation specifically, or culture where a masculine is operating at a feminine energy and they want to compete with you. Message, have you guys been through this? So they want to compete with you now, where before it was easy because they could just stomp on you, step over you, disregard you, dismiss you, quietly make fun of you, look down on you, have pity on you. You know, it's funny, they had pity on you, but I remembered my situation that the person evoked pathos from many. I once had a professor say that to me about evoking pathos, and I thought that's the biggest burn I've ever heard in my life. It's the truth. Someone can cause you to feel sorry for them because they are sorry. Some of the people that you were dealing with were that. They were sorry. Don't go back. They wanted to destroy you. They wanted to compete with you. They didn't believe you. They didn't honor and laud your gifts, your divine femininity, and they were not loving you deeply and richly. Just because they could sling D, a lot of my clients, they're like, but girl, the D. And girl, I love D just like the rest of thee, okay? I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I love sexual energy. I love all the things I love, but what I don't love is being drugged energetically. And that's what those people were doing. D is not worth it. Poom poom's not worth it. Good boobies are not worth it. A great set of arms on a guy is not worth it. A six pack, abs, whatever the physical, superficial things are not worth it. And also, let's talk about this too. Were they really a good lover to you? Now that you guys are growing up, now that you separated and you started to fill your own cup, did that person that you may have idolized, whether it be platonic or loverly, did they really come with their best stroke, game, or loving, friendly energy? You put it where it fits, right? Because on reflection, you realize they didn't. Because what you'll realize is you're so much deeper than the superficial, we're just going to do this and creep, or this and that, or the other that they were offering you, which were breadcrumbs and meager and disrespectful too. Sex is so much more than the immediacy of the moment and the urgency. The person I know for a fact that I dealt with that I decided to friend zone, actually, I did that because I knew they were not capable of loving me. I didn't want to be another notch or a re notch on their belt to any degree. Why should they get to have my precious empath energy? And the same is true for you. It was not something they deserved. For what? What was the payoff for me? I did not find the worth in sleeping with them to make that a reality. Something that low vibrational people that are superficial, that only use sex as a currency, would never understand. I was a crazy one to her. I am absolutely sure. But I was like, you're not good for me. You're not good to me. You're not good in bed with me. And what I mean by is, could the basic mechanics of a sexual encounter happen with you and some of the people you've dealt with? Certainly. But were they ever capable of loving you deeply, with ever making you not feel like ish, with ever not feeling longing? Because a lot of narcissists specialize in that. They like you to be hooked to them. And sex is a way to keep you tethered. and that, or having you think that you're their friend, especially those of you guys that dealt with the friends with benefit situation. There's a great channel on here. It's called the Crappy Childhood Fairy. She has a plethora of information about third parties and also friends with benefits and why we will compromise ourselves to be in it, to be in those situations, especially my people with childhood post-traumatic stress disorder. We often recreate not getting nurtured fully by our partners in these partners that are love bombing us later, like, oh, you were the best. You were the best. They're not lying, but they are never going to love you deeply. And they'll never even be trying because they don't have anything to pull from. Were I to have gone back to my person when I still cared and I was still lovely and mushy and I didn't want to fight Night Mortal Kombat her ass energetically, were I to have gone back to her, she would have done the same thing to me. And the reason that I know it, and so let me set you free, it's because she had already done that to me repeatedly. She'd already lied to me, gaslighted me, cheated on me, hid things, been not honest, played things against the middle, created smear campaigns. She did it for 20 years, again and again, while I stood by her side and I was ride or die while she was cooking up spells at night for me to actually die. Message: stop giving people that wish death upon you second chances. Well, Monet, I don't think my person is actually wishing death upon me, and I don't think that they're doing black magic or anything like that. That's hinky. Maybe, maybe not. But are they gossiping about you? Because that's a spell too, and it should not be forgot. Are they talking ish? Are they doing smear campaigns? Are they gaslighting you? Are they not putting respect on your name? Because then they're killing your spirit every day. So it may not be as literal as a crazy I had to deal with, but you're dealing with it in your own way, and they don't deserve to siphon your energy sexually just because they want to apologize now and set themselves free from their karma. That's the final thing. Don't go back to them because you will do an energetic karmic transference. Let me explain. People attach themselves to other people to try to get their clout, their fame, or their karmic goodwill game. Empath and Divine Feminine, a lot of you guys have created a lot of goodwill in the world for the work that you've done thanklessly for many years. One day, it's all in escrow for you and it comes back and it washes over you and your finances go up, or you get dream houses, or you get dream vehicles, or you get dream friendships, connections, or loverships that actually are worthy of you. This is for all the work that you did do. The karmic, the ex, the narcissist, the toxic person, the distorted, wants to switch destinies with you. Think about right before you guys stopped dealing with each other. Were they high flying adored? Were they living their best life? Were you ignored? What they did was they stole your energy to facilitate the best life they could ever have. And it was free to them, and they would stomp on you and they were laughing at you. I'm not trying to trigger you guys. You need to understand these people were delighted when they were getting away with it. They knew exactly what they were doing. And they thought they'd never have accountability. That is why you set yourself permanently free and don't go back. Because once you make them take all of the accountability, now they have to live out their terrible karma. Now they have to be fully entrenched in their poverty. Now they are dealing with backstabbing friends that have no honor because they're all thieves. They're thieves of energy. They're thieves of time. They're thieves of credit cards. They're thieves of everything. So don't go back. Don't let them sexually touch you. Don't text UX with them. I treated my person like she was a fucking piranha. You don't cuddle up with a piranha. At the end of it, and she might have thought, oh, Monette's acting like a prima donna. Absolutely. Like a virgin. Hey! Never touched by you ever again. I re-cleansed myself because I realized I never had a friend, I had a foe, I had a hoe, I had somebody that I will never know again. I treated her like she was dangerous poison to me. She could never get back in my energetic field beyond spying on me because I knew that if she could, she would try to do some crazy energetic transference. That doesn't mean she was smart enough to do the things I'm talking about, but devilry works that way. Low vibrational people are great at manipulating things and stealing energy and being vampiric. I don't think that she conscientiously had these thoughts. So please understand that the person you're dealing with is not like some Machiavelli mastermind. Some of them are. Some of them are real sociopaths and they really think about their shit. She happened to be in line with that as well. But She wasn't bright. It was just that she was manipulative. And I guess there is a certain degree of intelligence there, so let me not hate. I guess she was intelligent enough to manipulate. And the same is true for whoever was dealing with you. And that's why you never let them get, excuse me, guys, back in your energy field. Because it's the same thing that they would love to do. They would love to, excuse me, see, I'm bored with it already. They would love to take from you. I never yawn during my readings. They would never take from you. Oh, that's it. Great message, angels. Thank you. They're boring. That's the final thing. They're boring. The reason I divested, there was a million reasons, but I was bored. I was like, we played this game already. I don't like it. It wasn't even that I didn't like it out of like, oh, it's not fair. It hurts me. I was just like, really? Because I pride myself on developing my intellect and sharpening myself and solving puzzles. And I was like, this is stupid. You are stupid. You're not exciting or interesting. It's the same thing over and over. Let's cook and repeat it again. I'm gonna act like I don't see you. I'm going to ignore you, and you're gonna chase me. Are you chasing me? Are you chasing me? Are you chasing me? Think about little kids. As a preschool teacher, I did this. I watched little kids play run and chase. That's exactly what was happening with you and whoever you were dealing with. Except you were the runner chasing after, or excuse me, you were the chaser while they run. You know how kids will look back to see if you're still chasing them? That's exactly what I was dealing with. Someone who was still 7 in their mind, still 5, still 2. It was crazy. I thought, what am I doing here? To try to show that I love you, divine feminine, you deserve to be loved by someone who you want to be with, who wants to be with you. You both love each other. You're both delighted with each other. You talk about it every day. You're involved in each other's esoteric field, and no one's pushing you away. People that aren't healed will do that. And all jokes aside, while I was like, I'm so bored, I was bored and disgusted, and I don't think she realized how much I did like. Not only did I not like her, but I was just uninterested. I was like, go play with these little children that have never done this game before because this is boring AF for me. I'm on the calculus level degree, and you're still on some 1 plus 1 hopefully equals 3. She was still getting the basic math wrong. I was embarrassed for her, y'all. Anyway, so what I'm telling you is look back at your people. At first, it might have been interesting. Oh, I don't know. It's unrequited. Is it? No, they said they loved me 3 times. No, they don't. Now they do. I was just like, this is bullshit. And I'm not playing with you. I was like, if you don't get out of my face with this. No, now it's funny when I'm dealing with clients that I'm very comfortable with. I've had conversations like that where we're going through a thing and I'm like trying to help them with something. And then I eventually will just level with them and be like, you know what? Next week you're going to be right back with this person and you're going to be fine. So don't waste my time, even though I love you. It's not said in a mean way. It's said in a kind of like sister girl, like, hey girl, hey way. And we laugh about it. And then the week later they call me. They're like, girl, you never lie. We back. You know? So what I felt like when I was dealing with the divesting for me and when I look at it, when I look at my clients actually, is that it's the same. You got to know that you're not willing to play the game. Sometimes we want to play that game. Sometimes we're okay. Sometimes the relationship is totally worth it. And we're meant to be with the person. They're going to be our spouse, whatever the case may be. But what is not worth it is to have someone who is doing the same thing in perpetuity. Who wants to live in that Groundhog Day hell? And if you stay there, you will never be loved well. Kim Porter is an ex of Diddy. She died recently, a few years ago, a couple of years ago, and he paid for the funeral and did all the things. And when she died, he had a whole girlfriend, but he said, this was the love of my life. Meanwhile, back at the farm, he never treated her right. Scorpionic energy, low vibration through and through, always a deceptor. I was watching Fat Joe do an interview recently where he said Diddy is the biggest deceiver. Your ex is operating out of scorpionic energy of death, rebirth, but also keeping you tethered. They rule possession and obsession too. He never set Kim Porter free. Kim Porter never got a new boyfriend or had a new boo. He stayed anchored in her life to keep her attached and attracted to him while he went off and had every girlfriend and was like, you're my person, and claimed her even posthumously. In death, he claimed her. That's the craziness you're dealing with people that actually set out to plot and murder you. Now, he did not do that with Kim at all, okay? I'm just saying, you have people that wish death on you, that really tried to kill your spirit and were cruel. If they didn't wish death on you, they at least tried to kill your spirit. They were cruel. They neglected you. You juicy, beautiful humans that require love, nourishment, connection, and communication, physical touch, care, and energy. They malnourished you and watched it delightfully, purposely, for shits and giggles and entertainment, and have the nerve when you're like, I'm not in it, I'm Bennett and I'm not in it, and you're out of it, they say, oh no, you're my person eternally. Now I get the twin flame. Now I have my twin flame degree. Fuck 'em. Actually, purposely, forever, in perpetuity, just like they wanted to keep you tethered to them. We're healing over here unapologetically. Fuck them and set them free. Let them go play games with other children who one day will figure out how to drag them, because karma is the best way to set someone free. I didn't wish it on them, but I knew it would happen eventually. Yeah. You spend your nights alone. Now all you get's a busy tone. Now she's doing to you what you did to me. I'm hearing Justin Timberlake's song, Ain't That the Way It Goes? Um I think it's Crimea River. Yeah, where he's talking about how Britney did him. And she ended up with Kevin Federline, who ran her money and her coins. They ran her right into crazy. Anyway, Britney is free now. God bless Britney. She's pregnant. Amen for her. See, Sagittarius redemption. But the problem is, oh, that is such a positive. That's such an interesting message. Low vibration Sagittarius. Okay, low vibration Sagittarius energy is what any F boy carries. It's not about them being a Sagittarius at all. For tarot readers, they will tell you that the Knight of Wands is associated with Sagittarius energy. It is reckless sexual energy. It's F boy energy. It's I'm never going to settle down energy. It's self sabotage energy. This is the archetype of that card. It's not something I'm saying because of my experience. And when I say I got lessons in a literal way, my person happened to be a low vibrational Sagittarius. So I actually saw what it looks like when someone's terrible. Now, I'm really grateful because I work with clients and people and have friends that are high vibration Sagittarius, and I know exactly what that looks like too, that explore travel and philosophy and spirituality and ways to ground themselves, and they are not on purposely rude. Like, God helped me heal in so many ways, but he said these archetypes matter. Christians are scared of them when they're looking at tarot, but it's our personality traits. And so the Knight of Wands, if you guys ever get a tarot read and someone says someone's acting like a Knight of Wands in your life, they're talking about a lower vibrational Sagittarius who walks the night and roams the night and whose penis and vagina is always taking flight. All right. So they are not committal people. It doesn't mean that they can't, because we look at Britney here. She was reckless and wild, and she had some mental illness, and she had a terrible conservatorship with a controlling dad. But Brittany had a tendency to beat her head against the wall. What I mean by that is not in a crazy way. Sagittarius that don't listen will make the same mistakes over and over. I'm hoping that she's ascending out of it. I know we're all watching I don't know why this turned into Brittany, so like pray for Brittany, I guess. But we're all kind of watching with bated breath. She's pregnant. She got exactly what she wanted and manifested. Will she now make this be good? I hope this guy doesn't use her. All the things, right? Unfortunately, when I see a Sagittarius energy not mature properly, I worry that they will be that way for life. And even if, again, your person wasn't a Sagittarius, the archetype is the same, and it's true. That person was never going to grow up to love you. They would always run from you. They'd always sabotage it when it got too real. They were not going to communicate with you. They did not care how you felt or how they made you feel. So know that. And stop hiding away. But one more sexy time might be so real. It will. It'll be really real. It might give you a real STD. It might make you really crazy. It might really deplete you of your energy. All things could be true, or maybe one or three. I don't want to see you play Russian roulette. Please don't pull that trigger. Okay? As now we're according to Amber, please don't let them shit your bed. I mean that. Okay? I love you guys so much. Move on. They don't know how to love you anyway. They never could. How many years or opportunities or chances did you give someone to love you properly? And then every time they picked the wrong thing, they picked it happily, gleefully, and then pointed back. They're like, don't you see? You did this to me. No responsibility. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. We are moving on and we're healing unapologetically. I love you guys so much. Let me see if I have any comments and then I'm going to pop off. Mr. Chalk Chalk says, hey, can you please tell me the difference between a divine masculine, divine feminine, earth angel, karmic, and twin flame? Mr. Chalk Chalk, I'll try to do it quickly, but I think that might be another video to make. Ooh, because my phone is going to die. Yes, Jesus, let me get that plugged in. Hold on. I'm glad I saw your message, friend. I'm gonna make another video about that. It's deep. Divine masculine is a counterpart that we have that comes into our life that it's like sent to us. We have a mission to do together, meaning we have good synergy, we have spiritual beliefs that will align, whatever. Usually the trajectory of that is that one person recognizes the divine masculine and feminine are also often associated with twin flames, okay? And there's a runner chaser dynamic that I spoke about earlier, where someone realizes the connection before the other person does. Even if they both acknowledge it to each other, someone will sabotage the connection. Usually it's the divine masculine goes wildness and Taliban energy. So they will run from it, they'll sabotage it, and then later, when the other partner, usually the divine feminine, is like, girl, you couldn't pay me to be back with this person because they're crazy. They done took me through. They changed my life, and we spiritually sent. I think the divine masculine feminine journey is really about getting you to kind of get into your spiritual vibe. Like, I would not trade anything for my journey now for what happened in my life with my quote unquote distort. I call them a distorted masculine now, y'all. They weren't divine at all. But and it's funny because when we were together, I didn't associate them that way. It wasn't until we separated that I understoed fully. I knew we had a mission to do and whatever. So not everybody is privy to that information as it's happening. When it happens though, you realize afterwards, like, oh, this is exactly what this was. You know, it's like you get diagnosed after the fact. Or anyway, that's what happened to me, because I never once referred to her as a divine masculine when we were actually in each other's energy. I knew that she was my partner. That was what I would call her, a wifey partner, emotional wife, all of that. But never, ever, ever did I call her to my masculine. So even if she heard these videos, I'm sure she'd be like perplexed and confused. Like, what? She did the research now because life is life and we both did what we needed to do. But she gets it now and I get it too. But it's just an interesting thing. Anyway, so don't be dismayed if you're with somebody and you're not like, this is my divine masculine. A lot of people are. There are like very predatory channels on here that literally just read for divine masculine, feminine energy. So a lot of people are very awake to what this is, and it's very talked about in the zeitgeist. It's very part of our lexicon now. In any case, we didn't all grow up with that understanding. A karmic is someone that I would consider almost a soulmate, which is interesting. Not all soulmates are evil, and not all karmics are evil. Someone comes in to teach you a lesson. So I have someone in my life who's been a great blessing. She's a soulmate, but the karmic lesson she taught me was about raising my vibration financially. Some karmics will teach you about not taking advantage. Like the karmic that came into the person that I used to know's life was there to teach her about not why she shouldn't be an asshole all the time and what being an asshole feels like from the other side, because she got away with murder for a long time with so many people. So that person came in to teach her a karmic lesson, also to give her a test. So a karmic will come in to give you a test. Usually a karmic comes in as a third party. So if there's a divine masculine, divine feminine, they have a mission. The karmic comes in as a third party, but they have a soul contract with them. Guys with Andula has great work on this too. This is a channel here on YouTube. Guys with Andula, and she talks about this specifically. And she did one of the best third party talk offs where you're like, why did they come in? And I want to get my person back, but they're attracted to them for a reason. It's orchestrated and designed so that they can learn lessons in their life that you would have never taught them. And I would have never taught my person the lessons that she learned from the karmic that came into her life. She needed to learn them. And whatever the case may be, I can laugh about it because it's funny to me now, but I wasn't going to do that. I was going to love her so sweetly and completely. And that was never going to teach her shit. She needed to be drugged. And that's it. Karmics usually will drag you. Here's how you know you're dealing with a karmic. You will lose things. So a karmic will come in, and as much as you're like, this is my person. And what's so funny is they will deny the divine masculine or feminine journey. They'll be like, this isn't real. This isn't happening. You're crazy. With the karmic, they'll feel like this is my person. It's meant to be. That attraction is allowed purposely to teach them the lessons that they have to course correct and to go through the shadow work and all the rest of it that we as masculine or feminine energies probably wouldn't have put them through. So they'll feel inexplicably drawn to the karmic, and they'll push you or the divine feminine or masculine away, and they'll be like, whatever, you were just a distraction from my real love, which is hilarious and incredibly painful for the divine feminine or masculine that deals with that. However, It's purposely designed. They are supposed to be attracted to that person to learn this time in this lifetime about whatever negative toxic traits they needed to work through. When you're with a karmic, you will lose. So you will know it's a karmic because you will start spending your money or they'll start taking from you. The karmic is ruled by scorpionic energy, which is ruled by the eighth house, which is other people's money, taxes, obsession, possession, hidden enemies, all of that stuff. So this person that you're so attracted to as a karmic will be someone that's actually an enemy of you that has come in to destroy you or help you to never have something you really wanted. So let's say the divine masculine and feminine have love for each other and maybe they're on the brink of union. A karmic will come in to test that to see how bad do you really want this. They're allowed to come in and test it to see, and usually the divine masculine will be like, wee, new poom poom, and they're free and they'll go do that. What they miss out on, which doesn't matter at the time, the loss that the karmic causes at that time is divine partnership, which is bliss, which is something that we all aspire to, but none of us ever really get to embody it, or not many of us embody it, because you have to have a partner that's willing to work with you. So they might be like, I don't want to do my shadow work, so I'm going to go play with this karmic. So the punishment for that, initially there's a payoff, because the devil always gives you a little sweet treat, right? And then what happens is it'll cause the respect of your family to go down. You might lose your family that you might have loved, right? You might lose your job, you might lose your health, you might lose your looks, you could lose money. A karmic's energy vibration is that of loss. Because when you are dealing with a karmic, you are not really, the lesson you were supposed to get was, okay, identify that this person isn't healthy for me and then move away. And when that doesn't happen, then the karmic gets to play. Let's see what else here. Okay, earth angels are people that are associated with empaths. Okay, so empaths and earth angels, I would say, are same. And an earth angel is somebody here who has what I would say is like a sweet energy, and they care about people infinitesimally. They can often be doormatted. One of the lessons for earth angels is to stand up for themselves. That's why I have a little spicy edge to me, because I was such an earth angel and such a doormat that it was detrimental to me. I didn't have a backbone, and I let people talk to me crazy and take advantage of me. And now I Mortal Kombat karate chop everybody energetically, not actually. But the point is that I've learned to stand up for myself, and that's my calling in this life, is to teach other people that live like me to stand up for themselves too, and set themselves free from the tyranny of other people that think you're too nice to say anything. Oh, no, 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 no. That's not how it goes. Earth angels are here, and they help raise your vibration. They transmute energy. They help you with things that you may not have seen coming. They will help you from pitfalls. They will save you from things too. So they're assigned to come in here, and they usually come in through a pretty crappy life or set of circumstances, which makes them humble to some degree. They operate in life with a level of humility. That's what I'm being called to say right now. And that means that people will take advantage of them because they'll think they're meek instead of realizing how strong they are. I really will make a separate video about this, Mr. Shock, because I think it's a great subject matter, and I'd love to teach about it more in depth, and not right at the second. But that's a cursory overview. Your divine masculine and feminine associated with the twin flame journey. A soulmate is usually a karmic lesson to some degree, and depending on what kind of person you were in your divine masculine and feminine journey will be a direct indicator of what kind of karmic energy you get in. Like I said, for me, the karmic energy of my soulmate is beautiful. It's fucking brilliant. It's life. It's chef's kisses. Best it's ever been in my life. But that's because I sewed into people so much goodness. And my angel said, now we're going to send you an earth angel. So my earth angel is a karmic lesson to me too. So it's my bestie, it's my boo. I love this person, but she's a sweetheart to me. She is the sweetest honey to me. Nobody's ever been sweeter, kinder, more consistent, period. You could fight me on it, right? And that's because that's how I showed up in other people's life. And that's what you need to know about that. If you're masculine or feminine, treating you terribly, there will be an earth angel, a soulmate, someone that loves you, that comes in and loves you the way you were loving them. An earth angel is someone that steps in and helps you. It might be someone you talk to at the cashier that gives you a good word. You never see them again, but you never forget them. They're operating out of the vibration of earth angel. Okay, so that's how I can best explain it, my friend. There are a lot of delineations and probably more explanations, and I will definitely get to that. But that's what you need to know. A karmic will cause you to lose. I have videos up here about karmics, okay? A karmic will cause you to lose or gain depending on your energetic vibration or the pain or the light you've inflicted onto other people. So when the karmic came into my person's life, I knew exactly how it was going to go for her. I didn't take a rocket science or a psychic, though I happen to be actually psychic. So I was like, this is going to go terribly because you're a bad person in your daily life. Does that make sense? Now, God sent you an energetic vibration for who you are. A karmic is really just a lesson. Also, when you get that third party situation, don't be like, oh my God. Da, 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 da. You can't avoid it even if you wanted to. And it breaks my heart when I counsel men and women who try to intercept it and try to like stop it. Even when it happened to me, my angels purposely were like, stop, don't you do anything. And they told me not to say anything. I really wish I wouldn't have. One time I did. Sometimes they'll want to be like, well, this person's good, whatever. Maybe they just allow that to happen so that she would later look back and be like, oh, the prediction was true. She was right. But it did nothing but cause drama. I would have. I really wish I would have not said anything about it. So don't try to like fight the third party. They're there for a reason to teach your person that you love so much something. And guess what happens when they fail the mission and they take the bait and they go to the karmic and they go the dark way? You get someone new. That's when the soulmate or the earth angel that is healthy in a karmic way to you comes in. All right, it's full circle. It's inevitable. You will not be forgotten. So many of us are afraid to release that old love and have a paradigm shift that's real and fair and honest because we're like, but they love me. Who's gonna love me like that? You better pray nobody does because the way they were loving you was killing you. All right. All right. I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Come back and join me next time. We'll continue to evolve together.